Hello and welcome to the channel. If you haven't been here before, please do not forget to like, subscribe, do all of that fun stuff. Get involved and comment. So I wanted to talk about something really interesting that I saw this week. So there is a nightclub in Manchester called XLR, which announced this week that it's going to be the UK's first ever bring your own booze licensed nightclub. So for those of you who might not know what this means, it's a very kind of British cultural thing, BYOB, but essentially it means that there is no paid bar, or certainly not for alcoholic drinks anyway. So what happens is you bring your own alcohol from home, tinnies, bottles, whatever, and that's what you drink at the nightclub, right? So you only pay basically to get in and for your soft drinks, I assume. Now, there's a good reason that this has never existed before, because nightclubs, that's where they make their money. That's where they make the majority of their money. On the drinks, on the booze, right? But I've got to say, I think you'll agree with me on this. I like this. As a concept, I am well on board with this. Bring your own booze is a fantastic thing anyway. And to be able to go clubbing and just bring your own alcohol, absolutely. So looking through some more of the details, which I got from Mixbag, it's going to be a 200 capacity space. It's going to launch on September the 24th. And it's to encourage students to still be able to afford to go out, essentially. Interested to see if it'll only be for students. Like, will punters be able to go, or is it just a student night? So apparently tickets are going to be sort of £10, £20. That's great. So £10, £20. Let's say it's the most expensive night. Let's say it's £20 for the ticket. Let's say you spend a tenner on your alcohol for the night. That's an entire night. An entire night for just 30 quid. In today's market, that is not bad. That really is not bad. So it brings to light a couple of questions, right? The first question I have immediately is, what is the cheapest yet still socially acceptable drink that you could take to this? Because I think if you showed up with like a water bottle full of like Glen's vodka, that's not socially acceptable. I'm sorry. That is not socially acceptable. You can't do that, right? But maybe like, what about like some Frosty Jack cider or a can of K cider? What about a bottle of Lambrini? They're like £4. What about some Magnums? Some of those little Magnums. They would be perfect for this. They're small. They're really alcoholic. But anyway, I digress. So this is a really interesting concept, I think. Everyone loves bring your own booze. Everyone loves it. And this venue has, rather than trying to make up money through alcohol sales, they've completely gone the other way. And I think it speaks to a wider situation around sort of clubbing at the moment in this country, but around the world, really. So it should be no secret by now that nightclubs in the UK are dying a death. It's not a slow death, it's a quick death. The appetite for them is not there. They're not interesting enough. They're too expensive. 20 years ago, a nightclub could just open up in any town, put on a local DJ, charge everyone through the nose, but everyone would still turn up because in this country we like partying, right? That is so not the case anymore. The nightclub and general nighttime economy has become so competitive that now any new venue has to have such a strong USP in order to gain any kind of market share. So we've seen this a little bit with the rise in coffee shop parties as well. And also companies like Lab 54, who base their entire event brand around putting on events that aren't in clubs. So people's living rooms, wherever, right? So I think this represents quite an interesting kind of breaking point in that nightclubs now, in order to have some kind of appeal, are even willing to forego the money they make on a bar tab just to get people in the door. I think it's interesting. I'm all for this. I really like this. I'd really like to go. I wish more places would take this as an idea. And I really hope it works out for them, to be honest, because they're trying something interesting. They're taking a bit of a risk. And I would really encourage, if you are in Manchester and you are a student, checking it out.